I'm recording now, so we're gonna give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so let's get into the next topic, okay? What is the best zombies Easter egg?
So personally, my favorite Easter egg in zombies is the. Oh,
Lost one already.
Is the what? Brain fart?
okay, sorry about that. My thing disconnected for a second. Anyway, what are the odds? Anyways, though, personally, my favorite Easter egg is the moon Easter egg, just because of that ending and how it started off Black Ops 2 for us. I mean, you can't beat that. The closest that they've gotten since then, for me personally, was the Derize and Drac Easter egg, where we blow up the moon instead. So, that's my favorite Easter egg.
Okay, who's next?
Plasma? Captain?
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Spaceland for this one.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Alright.
Spaceland World was the most challenging one out of all of the Easter eggs, right? Correct? Like it was the longest one that could be completed, except for Revelations.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in
If
all
we-
honesty, I don't mind Horizon or Shadows, but I don't really have a favorite, even though I do them all. But
I don't know. To be honest, Zombies in Spaceland is a really good one because like even for like
a lot of these
their
are
first
ones.
map is really good. It's like to see how challenging it was. It is sad that they had to nerf everything, like the boss due to the fact that no one could complete it. It was just that hard.
Yeah, a lot of the Spaceland Easter egg is not even like necessary stuff. It's just stuff you can do in the pastime.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's really the Easter egg is the Steadicams. Everything else is just
Random stuff like you
Yeah,
don't
you
have
do
to
it if you
build
want.
wait you
Oh,
don't have to, but you could. You don't have to build the wonder weapons.
yeah, you don't.
hey,
But- Nanico.
Hey, Nankos!
hey, the guy.
Hey!
Look at this guy.
Guys, this is Nanikos. He is part of
Matt
CCC.
Smith already
Anarchy.
knows me because I insulted his speedrunning.
Oh shit.
Who speedruns here? I don't think anybody speedruns here.
I used to
Oh, yeah.
speedrun.
I've dabbled,
I'm pretty
but
s- I'm pretty
not
slow
great.
at it, I think.
Are you?
I think-
Is that a joke or is that sarcasm?
No,
I think it's a little bit of
that is
both.
the truth. What, you think I'm lying here?
I'm more than happy to pull up your whole entire your
No,
world records.
We don't have to do that. No.
Okay. I was gonna say, I think the stream or the podcast themselves would like to see that.
I think the podcast would like the humor that I'm trying to use because I'm trying to defend myself with Space Lane Easter egg being good. But
It's okay, but I just don't like space. I like Spaceland. I just don't like IW.
All right,
I
Nico,
I agree.
since you're coming in here and you're coming in hot.
we put him in the spot.
All right, yeah, there we go. It's a little bit of rhymes in here. What
And
is
nowadays.
your favorite Easter egg?
Favorite Easter egg? Ah, shit.
Don't say Space Lane.
Honestly, it'd probably be Origins, just because Origins is a great map. But
So you're one of those people.
Yeah, well, if you were in my class, I would definitely give you a big fat F for your descriptions.
I know, I'm bad at describing shit.
Even with the person that has 53 minutes on the Easter egg speedrun, I still don't like Origins. But
I don't mind Origins. I think it was for good in its time. You know what I mean? For BO2
Yeah.
map, like no, actually, I don't know. I can't really say that. If I would say that, Mob of the Dead people would cut my head off. Damn it!
Yeah,
Greg MPS will slay us.
honestly,
not bad.
the best BO2 map. We can all agree on this.
Transit.
No, I was gonna say it's Dire Res.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say trans.
Dude, Die-Rise, don't be hating on Die-Rise. Die-Rise is a good map. The SVU, near
Die-Rise.
you put that trample steam near that one window, and you just face forward an SVU or an AN, and you just go ham on the hallway. Best camping
Yeah.
spot in the whole entire game.
Hallway of Doom.
Let's be clear, round 100 in less than like 3 hours.
Yeah, no, the high rounds on that are ridiculous.
That
Oh,
wonder
yeah.
weapon though, after that patch,
It used to-
it was
Pretty
just
bad.
too
Fastest 100.
overpowered after that patch. Too overpowered after that patch.
What it was?
Wasn't even more overpowered before the patch though.
It was.
I'm joking.
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
joking. That's why I'm
You don't need
Okay.
like one shot and it would last the whole
I was
round.
gonna say I didn't pick up
No.
on the sarcasm.
It would kill.
Is it true that you can unpatch it by like shooting a whole bunch of stuff together?
That
Like I've heard rumors of that.
I know how
I
that
don't
works.
know.
That what people typically do is they just go shoot a sign over by like the cafeteria area. They shoot a
Yeah.
whole clip at the sign. But all you need to do pretty much is shoot anywhere 10 times in a row, or in the 80s or 90s, it will unpatch itself because of how often you shoot.
Damn.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's some kind of bug in the game where it does that, and it just makes the pools disappear faster.
Do you know how
I'm-
awesome it is to know that? Due to the fact that, like, I bet you only know that because you see all the submissions people do, these glitches and stuff.
I kind of figured that one out on my own, and
Oh,
I also
really?
heard K-Town. Yeah, I heard K-Town say once that you can just unpatch it by just shooting anywhere 10 times on the map, and over time I heard that you can just unpatch it by playing high rounds.
Interesting.
So,
Never knew that.
Interesting.
sorry to get logical.
Muy interesante.
The fastest 100 time though, like ever, like other than World at War.
No, it's even faster than, well, apart from like Shinonuma and Verrupt, yeah.
I don't remember.
But Rev, is it faster than Rev? I don't think Rev is as fast. No.
And Nact is like insanely slow.
Shadows is only like 3-4 hours. If I recall.
254 is the 100.
Jeez.
Do you know all of them? Oh my god.
No, I just googled it.
I was about to say, bro,
I didn't know that one
you
at
might
all.
need to take a
I
break
did
for a
not.
little while, dude. I think you
I
need a
didn't know that one
vacation.
at all. I haven't seen Diarize stuff in months.
Plasma Jet was just like on database.
Yeah,
Like so.
he's just sitting there reading
public
every day.
database.
He's like,
Oh, the fastest 100 is BO3 Moon, 248.
Isn't that by Plasma
Oh, what?
Jeff?
No, that's not.
But Jeff doesn't even have a sub 3.
Hey,
damn.
where's your sub 3?
It's
Oh,
wait, what'd you say, Jeff?
it's getting heated.
Where's your sub 3?
It's getting heated.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
Nasty.
I'll send it to you. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna go pull up someone else's
Boy, that-
gameplay. Put his watermark
Kind
on
of
the
argument,
bottom.
Captain. I was about to go holocross on you.
Oh god.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was too soon.
Hold on. I'm getting this
Nanicos,
for
I just saw you jump on Black Ops 2. What the fuck were you doing?
What? I'm not allowed to play Black Ops 2.
Yo, Nankos.
No, I'm playing it right now.
I'm
I'm just saying.
Oh,
Yo,
fuck.
SOT, boy. Later on, just so you know. I just putting that out there now.
Did it.
All right. Rokin, did we ask you your favorite map? I don't think we did.
We did.
Favorite Easter egg? Yeah, I said
Easter
the.
Oh, yeah, you
I said moon.
Yeah, you said the.
For that
Alex
one.
is trying to mob of that now.
We already asked Captain because I don't want to ask him again his plan. My favorite Easter egg.
We didn't hear yours yet, Skittles. Or Kaiser.
Hey,
Yeah, true.
If you
Barry.
know yours, you could take it. I don't know my favorite Easter egg yet. I gotta think of one.
I can't. It's a cross. it's a cross. Okay.
It's a cross.
Okay.
What is it?
Mob of the Dead,
Alright.
Okay.
which I know everyone's like, oh my god, you fucking nerd. But
Yeah, no, it's whatever.
Go
Go
on.
go for it.
and the other one is Shadows, just because I didn't like the Giant when it came out. I thought it was too easy. I didn't think it was worth getting a high round on because everyone was playing it. So I did high rounds on Shadows, did the Easter egg and stuff, and you know what?
Nice.
That holds a special place in my heart.
I can see that. Nice.
It's only like ironic that they're both like kind of in the same time period and the same style.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good map.
yeah, and they're connected in a lot of ways. Actually,
Yeah,
I could tell you all about that.
Mr. Storyline.
Oh yeah,
All right, Milo, don't get ahead of yourself.
Oh, Milo.
Milo 2.0.
Hey guys, Mr. Rufflebubble's here.
Hey guys, Real King here.
I'm gonna get a message from Milo in like 3 weeks saying,
He's
"Damn,
like,
you're talking shit about me."
Don't.
he's like, get off my case.
Yeah.
This is my
He's-
job,
One day he's going to be on this podcast and just slay you.
dude. That would be insane.
Y'all know Project, right? Apparently Raffle Waffles wanted a Project stream. He told me.
Interesting.
I heard notification.
Freaking
It's
wrecked,
Captain-
Jeff.
Captain sub. Oh, he's got one. Dude. Oh well, he just changed someone's.
So what-
He just changed someone's name. That's screwed up,
So,
bro.
what country you from, Captain? Without looking at the page, can you tell me?
Told you, Colombia.
Did you look at the page for that one?
I know what flags look like.
I know
Oh, okay.
what flags look like.
Took
I'll take your
what's
word
it
on it.
called?
All right, so then what's the fourth one? What's the fourth flag then, huh?
Yeah.
Fourth flag. Let me go look. Oh, that's Spain.
The fourth.
I was looking at Jordy P. I was looking at Jordy P.
I had
I was looking at Jordy P.
That's not the
I'm not
fault,
lying.
but okay.
last week when I was streaming, I had someone in my chat tell me that the Ireland flag was Italy.
Isn't
pretty
it not?
Isn't it not? I mean,
GG.
that's what I said.
I just realized I'm the only guy from the UK here. That's pretty sad.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
thought Nanikos was.
No, Nanikos is over there in the Kangaroo City.
Yeah,
Kangaroo.
we're like minorities here.
We are very subjective
And then
here. Okay.
us over here in the USA.
No. Let me just remind you,
Actually-
Donald Trump.
I mean,
I will build a wall
Look.
everywhere. I don't give a hell. I'll go to your states and your countries and build walls. That's how national I am.
To be fair, in Scotland we would just vandalise those walls, putting like a penis on them.
Damn.
Alright, what's next?
What's the next topic?
okay.
the next-
uh,
The next topic is what is the best zombies map for raw gameplay?
For raw gameplay,
Play.
I'd have to say raw gameplay.
Origins.
What's raw mean?
Like yeah, like as in like raw as in like overall.
Casual.
I think casual.
General game.
General.
Yeah,
Well,
like, jumping into the map and playing it, not to watch, not
casual.
to yeah.
just casual playing, yeah.
I would
I
have
still
to
think
say-
it'd be
I-
Origins.
I would have to say the old maps, like the old BO1 maps, because like those were fun to just hop in, even if they're 2-hit, like they were fun to just hop in, and just play for like a couple hours on end, maybe even World at War 2. Because
I won't play in World of War.
hopping in and like playing Noct and like Varrock back in the old days was just so nostalgic, and I could do that a couple times.
I asked Nanikos to do the free 4-player world record with me for NAC co-op, and he just kind of went, what? I'm like, bro, it's a good game.
It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but like that, if after playing BO3, like I said last podcast, that 2-hit, I can't get used to it, man. I gotta stay with that 3-hit. That 3-hit makes it so much better.
I'm so used to it. I love 2-hit. It's so challenging.
Yeah, it's hard going from 3-hit to 2.
It really is, 100%. All
I
right,
just-
raw gameplay. Let me hear you, Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Yeah, yeah, you know, Kaiser, go for it.
Kaiser Wilhelmer, whatever his name was, from World War One.
There you
So-
go.
Here.
So just kind of a map that I like to play, like in general.
Yeah, 100%. Just map
Yeah.
that like if I were to go off this podcast right now, you would hop on and maybe just go play.
Moon.
Why Moon? Like wait no, first of all, which Moon and why Moon?
Black Ops 1.
Okay.
Black Ops 1 Moon,
Interesting choice.
because the No Man's Land on it is great. The high ground strategy is great and fun and easy.
He's not even, like talking about a map, just a survival.
There's so many features on it. And
Okay.
plus, the Easter egg, let's be honest, the Easter egg in Call of Duty Zombies in history is legendary.
100%.
Wow, stealing my answer much?
Actually, yeah. To be honest, if I were to go back with that other answer, I think I would have to say Moon, because like I do agree with Roking. It was so nostalgic just to be able to like blow up and have a satisfied feeling that you did something complete this season off.
Oh, I just killed the human race. Yeah.
Well, that's
I
not
didn't
true.
know.
You go back and there's still at least 4 people alive.
At least
At
4
least
people.
4.
Yeah, the ones who blew it up. That doesn't count.
Oh no! Do you think they all like fucked Misty?
Russ, man, Marlton,
Misty and Stuhlinger.
yeah, they all survived.
And
Leroy?
not to mention CDC and was it CIA?
Yep.
CIA. Oh, and the
So-
Flash.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people still left. Human race is still living strong.
Yeah, but do you think?
After
do you
like
think
a
they're thriving?
couple, after a couple like incest sessions, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they were all fucking Misty. Like they had a gangbang just to keep the human race going.
Oh god.
Interesting.
That was weird.
That's like fan fiction right there.
That was
Treyarch's fan fiction.
Yeah, do you think that's a thing, like Treyarch fan fiction?
I
No.
would hope not.
I hope it is. I want to read that shit on a video just to laugh at it.
New
That
series
here.
right there.
Time, in my opinion, not here.
Oh, did everyone answer, or are we still going in this topic?
Well, who do you want?
Who all's answered so far?
Me.
You got Skittles.
I-
So you and okay, yeah. I was gonna say there's a few that haven't.
Yeah,
So-
basically everybody.
Yeah.
Basically everyone. All right.
Okay. So who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Go for it.
So for me, it'd be Kino. Just mainly because of how simple of a map it is. It's like you can just jump in. It's like don't need to worry about pack. It's very straightforward. Get fun gun from the box, train on stage. You're set.
Just said
Yeah,
train
That's
on
basically my logic with that.
I don't know. After playing Kino for so long, high rounds and stuff, I'm like that. Jeez, will this ever end? Will I ever stop coming back to this map? And the answer is most definitely no, because it's a great map.
I would only go back to
definitely.
it if it was BO3.
I hate the beer.
Well, I'm playing BO3 Kino right now.
Yeah, BO3 kid is
Well,
not bad.
That's just like the thing I like most about Kino, just how simple it is. Like you don't need to do anything.
Yeah, you just play and that's
Jump
it.
in, play. Yeah.
When you said that you're in a game of Kino, I'm in a game of Town First Room.
Hey, at least you didn't say transit.
I'm in a game of nothing.
But
I'm in a game of Roblox
Pretty fun
Zombies.
game.
the game of Dead
okay.
Ops.
So I'll go next on this. For just going in and messing around, I think I kind of said this earlier, but Garad Krovi I think would be my choice, mostly just because of the ray gun Mark III. It's my favorite of the ray guns, and just
Even
playing
two?
with that is, yeah, over 2. I mean 2's fun and everything, but I don't know. I think the ray gun Mark III is, since it's just so much different with the akimbo part of it and creating black holes. It's my favorite.
I just remember. I just noticed something. I need to reset this game. I'm not even recording.
That's good.
Oh, fuck's sake.
What is the first room on town anyway?
Like 58.
Real fun.
Have fun with
rush.
that.
Yeah.
You need to enable hellhounds and shit.
Fun.
Oh, muy fun.
Do we already ask Captain
Oh.
what his favorite map was for raw gameplay?
For a second, I thought you were talking about you weren't recording the podcast. And I was about.
That's amazing.
When are you planning to do podcast anyway?
Sorry.
When are you planning on starting podcast?
Podcast has already been started, buddy. We've been doing it for about 20 minutes
30
now.
minutes.
20 minutes recording.
Nice of you to wake up with us.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the podcast.
Should have been up
30.
5 o'clock
Been,
playing World War II.
been recording for 20 minutes and doesn't even know he's been recording. Good job.
Boy.
Yeah, that's easy.
We're all just in
the
here.
further
We're all
times.
just in here talking very formally and talking about topics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So has everyone answered the question?
I'm busting.
I
I'm
haven't,
busting your balls
but-
because
Okay.
I'm not being an
Go,
asshole,
go, go,
just so
go.
you know.
You're on the
It's gonna
spot.
be Origins easily
Nice.
because I know, like when I used to be, like that one kid who like did the Easter egg, like that was the biggest accomplishment ever, and that's when I'd go around bragging to my friends, "Yo, I got through. I did the Origins Easter egg. Like, what do you think of me?" And
Who do you
good old
think-
play zombies nowadays.
Who do you think I am? Like,
But like I remember when like that was like the map to go and play. Like I remember I did that Easter egg probably 50 times, like over the span of like a summer and a school year.
Boy,
I was just like it was wake up in the morning, turn Xbox 360 on, play Origins. And like that, like, and I know that I could sit there and go watch YouTube over like people playing Origins, and I still know like I love playing Origins. Like I'll go back on BO2 and play it. And I remember I'd be watching like YouTube videos on chats to like get to 100. Like I remember watching the relaxing in doing a 100 game one time, and just always watching stuff over it to try to be able to do good. But like I remember that was just my casual game I'd always like to go play whenever I was younger and everything.
I have a quick question for Jeff.
Uh-huh.
Do you consider the relaxing end a good player?
I do.
As in, like, do you consider him one of the best of all time? As in, for like getting world records, or do you just consider him a real skilled player?
I would consider him a skillful player because, one, he was one of the first people that I watched to get into zombies, and he's still prevalent nowadays for playing zombies and is pretty well known. And him and Syndicate back in the day were early stepping stones to getting
Metal
better
Master
zombies.
21 as well.
Yeah, and that would be the next step pretty much, and after that you're pretty much already in part of the community, a high-round community.
Well, not even that, man. Look at him now. Look at how many freaking keyboards and stuff he uses. Do you think he play with half those stuff?
I
Do you think
mean,
you could play with a
not-
guitar? I can't play with a guitar.
He does.
he's a little outdated now, but he's still. I don't think people should give him crap for what he does
No,
nowadays.
100%.
He's still.
He still does his, shit, his stuff.
He's a pretty good veteran and well known.
Wait, I just realized something. Captain, you have 792 world records.
No, he doesn't.
Who is that guy?
It's Jeff's, and he
That's
just.
pictured.
Did he developer tools that shit?
He inspect element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, though, the
Hacker
solo
man.
records that are open there still have my name on them.
Yeah, I was gonna change those, but I felt like what, let's just leave them there as a.
Yeah. So, Captain, you must know how many records I just submitted for my name today.
Oh yes, dude.
Could you tell that?
I would log in and see, but no, Negro doesn't like me, so I can't go and look.
Wait, who's the guy who doesn't like me in zombie records? Jeff.
Is that worth saying here?
No, just in general, who's the guy who doesn't like me?
Well, can I say that though on the podcast?
Yeah, of course.
I can mute the podcast if you want.
It's just Smash Manos.
Does he still hate me, or?
No, he hasn't. We haven't really talked about it that much. I explained it to him. He doesn't seem too mad about it.
Just some context, I went into the Zombie Records Discord and I was lost. Guys wanted to talk to me. I was like, can you show me the way? He thought I was an asshole. We're good now.
Oh.
I'm blaming Captain for
Yeah,
that.
I remember when I told Kaiza, I mean, whatever, that, what's it called, that ZR wanted to talk to you. He just freaking joins the ZR Discord. I'm here because someone wanted to have a meeting with me.
Because you
No!
didn't tell me who to talk to.
And then I
Like,
get
no, that's not what you do.
You
And then I
said
get
join the
cross-flowed
CR
to
chat.
2 different people.
I was in school my teachers were getting pissed off at me because I was on my phone. So I go to a private school that's really uptight, but like,
Oh,
freaking don't just join. If anything, just like, you know what I'm saying? Don't say I'm here for a conversation. Like, just join and go like, hey, or whatever, and then they'll see you and probably just.
I think Rail King or Nicholas did the same thing I did as well.
Hey, I learned.
yeah, I did
learned
when
by
I
just-
first joined, and I deleted it instantly.
I learned by just
I did it on
waiting.
purpose. So.
Waiting's always
Look,
the
as
best
a-
thing.
Look, it's a fair big Discord chat, okay? You can get lost.
Hey, I got lost at first. I had Marshmallows do the whole entire Discord for me because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Okay, so next topic. What's the best zombie map to do high rounds on? And I want to ask Rail King first because he isn't a high round player.
Doraz
exclude-
and Jaka. I have to say
Can we
Doraz and Jaka.
exclude Revelation from this conversation?
Yeah, if
Um,
you're saying high rounds, I feel like the easiest and most accessible for people to get a high round on is definitely going to be
yeah.
Revelations
Yeah.
or Ascension. Like,
We
no
can
doubt.
exclude that.
What about Shino Nima?
I'd say definitely Ascension.
You know,
Ascension's easy.
that
Guys,
is
I just got my first 100. Oh, really? What map was it on? Shinonuma World at War. I know I'm a boss.
Oh well. I mean, you had me until World at War. Next. The best map, high round.
Hmm.
Well,
So if we're
you've
going to
done
be
high rounds.
excluding Rev,
What,
if we're
what's
excluding
the,
Rev, like you guys said, I would say probably DE because DE is pretty accessible for people to do high rounds.
what's
DE and
the,
GK.
what's the determining factor that we're using here?
No, I think this is like an
Overall.
opinion-based question.
Just
Like,
an overall,
what do you think's the best one to do high rounds? So not necessarily like
Like for world
you know what's the
records,
easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the easiest? Like, what do you as one you enjoy doing basically?
I'm gonna say playing Waterfront Strat in Shadows because that is a really tough strategy at first for some people, but once you get into it, it's a really fun way to play the game, and it's very different compared to anything else. You do sword and you do blast furnace, and you can either do like turned or dead wire pretty much, and there's just a bunch of different ways to do it, but it's not like you do giant and loop around in the first room for 70 hours.
I don't know.
You doing
Everyone's gonna hate me for this, but I
Oh,
have
God.
to say power vacuum on any map in BO3 has to be the best high rounds. Just saying.
which map?
Any map with power vacuum.
It's too easy though.
Okay, then take away
mean-
the power vacuum. Then what do you got?
It's not even a map after that.
Every map, every
Yeah.
map. Still, we'll still do all. 'Cause that's the Bo1
So-
Ishima is the best map, bro, for high rounds.
Let's cut
Obviously.
out.
That's yeah, I
out.
can see that, especially for multiplayer higher rounds. It's kind of a fan favorite, I think.
100%. Because like even like I think most of the BO3 maps have to be the best for high rounds. It's like you said, Shadows has a great strat. You bring back the Giant, is wonderful. You just camp in the spawn room. You know, you go on to the next one, which is Horizon Jack of best. Zatsubo has a great, like you said, right down the hallway for the Easter egg. Easy Easter egg if you know how to do it. Just gotta take a couple time consuming efforts. Gorod Crovey, if you really wanted to, you could. I don't really do high rounds in GK. What's a GK strat?
It's
Uh,
like sitting in the bunker room where you build the shield
Shield,
and
okay. That's what
running
I
the
said.
dragon.
Okay, so then you got that, and then obviously Revelations is just a bunch of garbage with Apothecon.
Pretty much.
And then
Well, no one's-
other maps are just remasters.
Has anyone got a 200
Get a
on
rim
GK after the patch?
No, it's not.
I
I
don't
do
think so.
think so.
It's pretty much impossible.
Why is it impossible? And what patch?
The
What patch made it?
current patch and what patch made it?
Yeah, what patch
is-
made it to not be past 200?
God, I can't remember anymore.
Oh, no, I think I remember. It was
One
some.
of
There's
them
no-
past year.
You know what? You know those little flying motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Valkyries.
They after they raised the damage on them, they also made it so they don't just not go into the bunker anymore. Basically, like they don't hang about outside anymore. They
Oh,
just
so they
kind
go
of.
so they go
Yeah.
outside. That's stupid.
It was after that. People still got somebody got a 200 after that patch. It was sometime after
Who
Red
did?
came out is when 200 wasn't
Yeah, I know.
possible because of Widow. Yeah, no. Because Widows would start crashing the game, and then something else would start crashing the game on the map. Whatever that
You know how
second one
annoying that
is.
is. Every time I watch people like even on ZR, they're like you can't use like in the Discord and stuff. You can't use certain stuff. You can't use Widows past certain rounds that crashes the game. Why implement something in the game that's going to crash it and later on in the sessions?
Because
I realize that Treyarch doesn't care about that 1% of the community that's
Treyarch
going
doesn't
for
know how to
high.
properly make a game.
It's so annoying. It annoys me.
I've told some big names too about this issue and see if they could get the message to Treyarch. They didn't do anything about it.
Really?
They've just
They don't care.
they've just made it worse, pretty much.
Cause like that.
Thank
like
God
you
we
said,
have
that-
Infinity Ward.
There's a
I
lot.
actually
There's a
can't.
lot of community who, like you said, does high rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of you guys here do high rounds and like go for those high rounds. So like that affects you, your overall time. Like you're trying to go and trying to grind, you got to reset at a certain amount of time. Like that affects you. Like you can't go for your highest. 255 is your highest round that you can go to. Like there's nothing else that you can go to. Everything's tied for records at 255.
That's why I don't play Black Ops 3.
It's definitely gotten worse since Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2, like, there was no round limit, or as we know of.
But wasn't but
And
it
then
was
Black Ops
also
2,
hard
they
to
just
kill
had
zombies
the
though.
255 cap.
Isn't the highest round on Mob of the Dead currently for Black Ops 2?
Yeah, 223.
Joint by
By
Steve and Gamer O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Steve did a join.
But that map's not getting pushed up anymore.
No, it's not. I don't think you'd be able to get one round up at all.
There is
I think
someone
it's-
that is a really good mob player that could do it, but I
What's
haven't
his
seen
name?
enough time.
Lamster, right?
Yeah, Lamster. Lamster can play tons of rounds flawless. He can make O'Neill and Steve look like nothing pretty much because he can go to like 150 with like 1 or 2 downs the whole game.
What's
Not
the
many
flaws
people
for that
do
map?
Back to that, talking about GK though, with the 200, a 200 might be coming up actually like here soon, because I know Shelby, which is basically the guy who's learned how to optimize GK, because back then you weren't able to go past 160 on GK, and he's figured out stuff to make it go past to 186 right now is what he's gotten it to. He knows how to play it really fast and everything. I'd say that Dad Won't Hug Me, or I don't know, he changes his name so much.
Dad won't
It's
hug me,
still
my
Dad won't.
boy.
14
Yo.
rounds is still a lot to go.
But-
Those 14 rounds are a lot. At least to get
Definitely,
past.
that's probably like another 10 hours into the game.
Yeah,
Not really, it's
exactly.
probably not that
I
much,
don't.
but
I
quite a
don't see
bit.
it happening.
Dude, that
At all.
guy's so old.
I don't know, dude.
man.
Like
I remember
he's
back
finding
when-
new stuff like every time he does it. Like he discovers like a lot of new
Dude,
stuff.
Dad won't hug
Like,
me.
yeah.
Dude, he's a savage. I love that boy. Dude, he's so
what
awesome,
is that
bro.
voice?
I just love him.
It's still pretty easy or pretty pretty good at the map, but 200 is probably not going to happen. 10 hours
I think-
is a lot to get back still.
Yeah. I feel like he'll probably over time do it because he plays fast enough where every single time he's cutting down more time to.
He'll get to the 190s probably, but that's maybe it. I don't see anything higher than late 190s.
So does that mean every map is possible to get 200 on Black Ops 3 apart from GK?
Okay. That's about.
Notch isn't. Brucked isn't.
Are you sure? I mean,
We're going by classics here, I assume.
oh yeah, classics, no way.
Notch is only going to be.
What's it
Notch is
called?
only in the
Or it could be
160s.
200, but not under CR standards.
Well, I think
I-
I think if a Rucked could be possible, 200. I mean, it's
I know I was talking with Mark,
I don't
and Mark did the SPH calculations, and like he's guessing that Verux is probably gonna have like a 72-hour reset, which makes sense because it's not like a map filled with a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
Yeah.
I think he said the max with what's it called, without being able to do the double
Double
trap. I
trap.
think it's like probably like in the 190s. But he said that if you could run the double trap, you'd be able to get up to like I don't know, 210, something like that.
Well, it's been confirmed that for Rucked on Black Ops 1, it's possible to get a 200 on now. Someone just needs to play really well to get it now.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's playing Kino right now. That's gonna be
What round?
like 105 last time I checked, so he's probably on like 110 or something.
What's
Probably not
is he?
that high,
Is he
but-
going for a record, or is he just playing casually?
He's probably going for the record.
Is he playing
226.
Whoever's thing is beeping, you gotta mute that.
Yeah, that'd be me. Holy hell, I'm getting spammed.
Yeah,
He's-
I can tell.
What,
He's getting
what
he's
else?
getting all those nudes.
I don't
on
think
Discord.
Kino could
Alright,
get
Yeah.
200.
what is the next topic? Because we gotta make sure we get Plasma Jeff out of here soon.
Yeah.
The next
Sure.
topic is I don't know why you put this. but-
Storyline.
Yes, the best zombie storyline.
Next.
Alright, here we go. Here comes Ralph.
Well, that's a good opinion. Because like, what is better? Is it BO1? Is it BO2? Or is it BO3?
I think I should go last on this one personally, but it's up to you guys.
I don't like any
Like,
No, you go
do
first.
Do you
the
like?
hype.
No.
Do you like the transit crew story, or do you like the idea of having to get the pieces to pick up for you're gonna get all the pieces for Moon to blow up the Earth, or you have to either collect all of our do we collect our blood or we collect our souls to the Soul Key? Yeah,
Collect our souls.
Collect our souls, and then at the end of Revelations to happen at that.
Okay, so going off of the storyline, technically, if you go through all of their, going off of the timeline, for starters, the Black Ops 1 storyline and the Black Ops 2 storyline tie in together, up until I think it's Mob of the Dead gets out of the equation there.
Yeah.
So, Mob of the Dead and Origins aren't really a part of it, although Origins does tie back into that original storyline. But I've got to go with out of those three, Black Ops 3 I think had the best, just because of the interactions that each of the characters had and everything that they had to go through in Black Ops 3. It definitely had the most story seemingly in it. But if you combine Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 together for that entire story there, then they beat it hands down just because of the amount of story that's there. But other than that, it's all of the tie-ins and everything. It's hard to really decide which is your favorite, but since Black Ops 3 and the Easter eggs that I've been doing with my friends, or when I did all the Easter eggs with my friends, I've got to say that the storyline for Black Ops 3 is my favorite.
Well,
I don't disagree. I don't think it's like definitely 100%.
I prefer Black Ops 1 storyline.
Yeah. I don't like Black Ops 3 just because of the whole Apothicon thing. It's
It's strange.
like how different that is compared to Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, which all like tied in after like Moon and that.
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
like
fair.
I just don't like the whole like Apothicon storyline. It's like where the hell did this just come from?
Out of nowhere, like
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. It's like what?
Yeah, well, that's the problem when you get two different writers with it too. I mean, I
that's the
think
worst
Jason
part.
had that idea of the Apothicons, and he wanted to introduce it in some way, because Jimmy didn't have that, and so he had to try and find the best way that he could to introduce that. And I think he did an okay job with it, looking at the storyline aspects. But I mean, it's my personal opinion on it.
Well, the only thing I like about the Apothicons is aren't the Apothicons like the source of 115 or something?
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about it is that the 115 originally, or in the timeline and everything, originally it wasn't on Earth, but there was this whole thing where the Shadow Man started sending sending 115 to Earth, and so it was appearing in these random places, and 935 got it and everything, and all of that went down. But it's interesting. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe it. Although I think when you look at like even Origins and how the 115 ties in there and the Apothicons and the Great Battle and everything, it all kind of makes sense there. I don't know.
See, you didn't want to be
Yeah.
you didn't want to be a part of this podcast, but this is why we need you, because you're like the storyline guy.
Well, I wasn't sure I was going to be useful, but I mean, turns out that I am a little bit at least.
No, you're definitely a big help. Like, don't undermine yourself.
I'm a
Most
winner.
storyline than me.
I barely know shit about the storyline.
I've learned a lot of it from Reed and Milo, but there's a lot of it that I've kind of figured out on my own just from reading the timeline and everything. So
What we need to do, I know there was this one video, I can't remember who it was made by. It was basically, he was going to make the entire zombie storylines based off the Chronorium, whatever it's called. He made the first
yeah.
video.
Yeah, that was
well-made
Milo.
video.
I think it was Milo
No,
that
I
you're
don't-
talking about.
I don't think it was Ruffle.
No, you
I
don't.
think it was somebody else. Fantastical Gamer.
Okay,
And
I probably
it
didn't
was,
see that then.
you should go check it out. It was amazing how well the video was made. And I'd like to probably get like a group of guys sometime and make one like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a really well made video that's gonna explain everything to everybody. Because he just made one. And I was hoping he'd make more because like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he never did.
I'll check that out then, because I'm all about that.
Does anyone else need to go?
I'm good.
I don't think so.
Okay, I got.
Considering we don't really know a storyline like Raul does, but
Okay, I got a topic that I just forgot about. Okay, there it was. How do you feel when zombie YouTubers try to give us their higher round knowledge?
I
depends on who it is.
Well, for example, Mr. TOXY, which is a great zombies YouTuber, I don't undermine him for that. His top 5 high round records, he was butchering all the facts. He said sometimes there's only 24 zombies around on World War, only sometimes. And he said sometimes the round just skips.
Are you serious? He said that?
How
Like-
how long ago was that, though?
That was just actually
Honestly.
it was just after Black Ops 3 was released.
Okay, because I was gonna say I know he did top 5s a lot like before. I think it might have been after BO2 when there was the dead zone there. So
But how do you feel like the fact that they try to act like they know our community?
I don't know. I feel like most of the YouTubers, like they do what they do and then they end it. Like you know what I mean? Like yeah, they love zombies. That's their career. And then they get the Easter egg done, and like Milo does his corrective of how to get the storyline done. But after that, like that's it. Like that's their thing. They don't know anything else about beyond that. Most of the community gives them and feeds them to them.
The only person I would say who really does know it is Nick Saru with those world record tester videos.
yeah.
That's Nick Zara. Nick Zara's whole entire thing is about knowing. It's like asking, would you go to Reed for storyline? Like
Yes.
yeah, like it's like going. Would you go to Steve, who's a YouTuber, for most content? Like would you go? Like he knows most basic knowledge about.
The thing is,
zombies.
Nick Saru is a very well-rounded player. He knows the entire storyline. He knows about how the
Yeah,
game works.
yep.
Mm-hmm. He's a very underrated YouTuber for zombies in general.
Well, that's what happens when you hop in the game so like late and you don't blow up as fast. You know what I mean? Like he stopped doing his trivia things. I loved his trivia. His like I don't know what it was. He would bring in like people and they would just do questions about zombies.
Zombie Showdown.
Yeah. Zombie
Yeah, yeah.
Showdown. He stopped doing that. Like that was a really good series for him. And if he would have kept doing that, he would have blown up from that. But he stopped doing it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Eventually, you just have to go with the content, and sometimes the content's just dry.
But he really does know it. He's like the only person I will say a good job to for like knowing the high round mechanics very well.
100%, definitely agree
Then
with that one.
Then you've got the guy who
No.
used to play with Syndicate. What's his face? Dave the Rave. He was saying, "Oh, the G spawn is caused by the amount of time you play in the game, What else did he say? Oh, you can't get to round 100 on a town just because of how resource demanding it is. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Who was this?
Dave the
Well,
Rave.
no one's actually gotten to 100 on town yet, so he's right.
No, but he was wrong about the reason for it. He was just pulling shit out of these ass. And no, it was Metal Master 21 he was talking to. He was just sitting there, like, trying to act like he knew shit about the game.
I can tell you the G-spawn. Well, depends on the map for the G-spawn one. And the town one is just bull. So.
Yeah, the G-spawn's only caused by the game running out of entities.
It's all dependent on the map.
Yeah, but not on town. It would never happen on town.
No, it would not happen on town. I mean, unless you were using like an execution or something, but that's it.
Why an executioner? Does that have an entity that it requires?
It's something with the bullets, the spread of the
Oh,
bullets.
what
since
are
it's
they?
shotgun.
Oh, what are they? Actual like entities instead of
I
just like point and
cannot-
click.
I cannot be certain, but there's always those rumors that go around that people got errors from shooting the executioner at full horde of zombies. I don't know how those came about.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
People, whenever you do it now, I mean, your game lags if you shoot a full horde of zombies with an executioner.
Does it happen on PC though?
Not that I know of. How many people do you know of that plays BO2 PC?
Yeah.
Next
Because
hour.
I've never seen.
Next hour.
Well, other than him. I haven't seen anybody do it with a full horde on BO2, but I mean, it could happen. It all depends on their hardware, I guess. But you know, that still happens on BO2, and I'm not sure if it's a script error or a G-spawn, but it's one of them.
Does anyone else want to add anything to this?
Errors are fun.
Personally, I'm going to stay out of this because I'm mostly storyline, and so going into the, I mean, those zombie YouTubers are for me essentially, so I'll stay out of this one.
Anyone else?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, before he has to leave. Oh wait, sorry, continue.
For me, so zombie YouTubers, when they try and give, like, if you're watching someone like Noah J, that's a person I wouldn't consider like trusting information from. Like, I don't know how like,
You say you don't trust them with information?
I don't trust like any of the zombie YouTubers. So like any of the big ones. So like Milo, Noah
What
J.
happened with World War II when it came out?
Yeah.
It shows you who to trust. Exactly. None of them.
So you're saying no one then, right?
Yeah, pretty much. With the exception of like Nick Zaru or like Steve, like any high round player who actually does YouTube and like actually like goes into like depth on strategies and that.
I don't know. If it really comes down to like you're here for the community, you know, you're not here for the long run. Like yeah, you obviously got to be here for the long run if this is what your plan is and this is what your life is. But at the same time, like you got to know what you're talking about before you do it. It's like you watch like many tutorials, they rush it out because of content. They don't rush it out for the community. They rush it out for the content, and then they add little links in there at the end of their videos, being like, "Oh, this is what this is what could have happened. This is what this are other locations of these parts that you can go to." They rush it out because they don't experiment before because they want to make sure that they get it out before anyone else does. It's like it's like I've gone through like old tutorials and been like, bro, I have to go through like 3 other people's tutorials to find out where this location is. Like, why can't you give me a video and know where everything is before you have to do it? Like, you play so many games and you play so many times, you have content, you have videos there to show you where the locations are. Just edit it. Yeah, it takes time, but I'd rather have your viewers know of how to do it right away instead of being like comment feeding. Oh, where's this part? I can't find this part. Oh, where I came for this video to find this. Like, it's not here.
I'm not a big fan of Mr. Rolfo, but he does do like very good tutorials and very in-depth tutorials.
That's because he waits.
Yeah,
That's because he
true.
waits after, and when he does it, it comes out well. Like all his fire bows or his tutorials in BO3 were perfect because he waited to do
Yeah.
it, and he waited before anyone else, like after everyone else did it.
He's one of the YouTubers who isn't like a view whore or anything. He really does like care about the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Good guy.
he's definitely been with it for a very long time. I guess. in
One of
my
his-
opinion.
Yeah.
One of his first videos is him meeting Nolan North, the voice of Dr. Richtofen. Like, shows how, and that was before he even had 5 subscribers. Like, he really just has some love for the game.
Yep.
His Rick Toffin impression though, it's just like spot on.
And I've got questions for Jeff before he has to leave and kick ass, basically.
What do we got?
First question is everyone in here might be oblivious to it, but you should probably know it. Who's a better zombie strategist, 5 and 5 or Pishisor?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to say 5 and 5 because he still plays, or he has played recently. So he is.
He's definitely made the most strategies that
He is,
people use
yeah.
for high rounds.
I still use tons of his strategies. He's one of
His-
the biggest inspirations out there. for
His
speedrun.
Shadows one is OP.
Yeah, that's where it all begins, pretty much with him. That strat is unbelievably great.
Okay. What is the world record you are most proud to have obtained?
Ooh, that's another great one.
I love you, boy.
I don't know which. I gotta pick very specific one. Goddamn.
But what's one record you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I got this. Finally.
This one's gonna sound weird, but it's the Infection 30 speedrun. I say this one because I spent a few weeks optimizing that run. Everything from the rounds that you need to pick when to leave for the gas zones, and then how to deal with the boss zombie and what drops to get from the box. And I got that 30 down. The run that I have now, the 36:45, is probably very close to optimized. I could not see that record being beaten by over 20 seconds or more.
That was a fair surprising answer.
The funny
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is that I actually have gameplay of you playing Infection for one of your 100. I think you're going for 100 right now.
Yeah. But yeah, that I always like to think of that one because that was one of the best 30s that I ever did. Definitely.
Alright. In the current moment, the zombies community is considered dead. What are things you can think of right now that would revive it?
There was a lot of them.
Dragon.
They have Reagan, you can revive them, obviously. I mean, you could say anything that's being in production right now. These new sites that are coming out whenever they can.
You must almost
the-
CCC.com.
Some of the things that Hutch has coming up too that will be out sooner or later.
Damn, Hutch is coming out with some good stuff. Damn, my boy.
Yep. I'm not letting out anything.
No,
so
don't.
you're gonna
When is this
enjoy
stuff
it.
coming out?
We won't tell anybody. We won't tell anybody. Just spell it out.
I'm not spelling it out. No.
Okay.
I mean,
Is it mostly? Wait, just let me know. Is it mostly zombies? Because he was telling me that he wanted to stop doing zombies for a little while.
who
Hutch.
doesn't have time for zombies? He only has time to do work and the site pretty much, and his girlfriend.
Yeah, he said he only has time to do his girlfriend. Get it? Literally.
Oh, we're so mature in this podcast.
Skittles, shut up.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
famous.
I'm gonna definitely be back here at some point. I'm full of maturity.
Oh, damn.
I don't know, just things that will bring the community back together, and have everyone look past all the
Bullshit.
rough hardship in the past. Yeah, something like another Derising Gauntlet will bring it all back.
Wow. That wise words.
Skittles, I'm looking at you.
I can feel the eyes on me right now.
Okay, so casual Sorry, continue.
Go ahead. Go ahead. It's no biggie.
So casual high round players only get to see a website, so I'll be records and maybe some tweets from you guys every now and again. Is there anything you want to clear up, or like that it's just like a robotic system?
You have a specific example? Do you want me to tackle, or?
Just anything really, like anything you just like want to let the people who don't get to hear from you guys that often.
I guess we're always taking input, and we're always hoping people will contact us if they have some kind of issues with the site, or if they want to see some improvement, things like that. We're always listening. We have connections anywhere, pretty much, if you're looking to get a word with us. Can't really say much than that, really. We're working on things to hopefully make things a little more transparent. Hopefully we'll have some things out in the next few weeks that will give people some clarity on things.
What makes you and the staff like think about like your categories and what to ban and what not to use and what things to restrict? Like, what's the process?
For things like that, we mostly just stick to what we've dealt with in the past and what we feel about it now. For like example, the big one that was going around for a little while was the double trap, or not the double trap, the double, not even the double tap, the direct invincibility glitch on the BO3.
Oh.
Yeah, no, well that one too you could say, but for this sake, we'll do the BO3 remastered version of Verruct. And we just felt that the game doesn't need to depend on a glitch, much like how certain things have in the past. Like, well, I can't think of examples now, but we just think the game doesn't need to depend on a glitch yet. So the game should be played legitimately to its standards, because that's what the site is for. It's playing legitimate records, and that's what it was founded for, pretty much.
So you're saying, like, obviously you ban GobbleGums. Are those not legit even when they come back in the next COD?
Probably so, because they just make things too easy for the game. The gumball ones is a whole nother situation that is really funky, but
because that's what, like, coming from, like, obviously my perspective, like, doing competitive, like, what gums should I not use? What gums should I allow players to use? What gums? Because I basically go off of what you guys do, because it's much easier, you know, like, it's responsive.
Simple.
You know, it's responsive and simple, like. But at a point in time, like, you want to make it to the point where, like, you could use those gums, but, like, you don't want to the point where, like, you're pointing at a fan base. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, people who have these gums can do a certain thing. I don't know. It's really hard. I just I like how you answered it, because then it's mostly your community feedback and an overall experience.
Yeah, that's what it mostly has been, and most of the gumballs have been were dictated by community vote or discussion, like the near death one, for example, or I think the self med and the aftertaste one were in the same boat, pretty much.
Oh, you guys were thinking about getting rid of self med and aft?
Yeah, and I don't remember what it is right now for self med, but I know the glitch is still prevalent with self med, but they fixed it for near death. We just keep near death away because it's a pretty powerful gumball.
Powerful gum, because think about it, you can constantly keep reviving yourself even if you're a solo player.
Yeah, you basically can't die with it if you do it right.
Yeah.
And you keep the quick revive with it as well.
Yeah, that too. That's another thing with solo. You can't die if you have that gumball, so that's why we keep that one banned. Self med and aftertaste do have the problem still. I think they fixed it for aftertaste, but self med still has the problem where you get infinite ammo, which is the same thing that happened near death, but then they patched it.
What do you mean as infinite ammo? Like when you go down, infinite ammo? Or
when you go down, you lose your mule weapon, but when you get back up, you get all your perks back, including Mule, so you get the Mule weapon back, so the game has to go through and give you that same weapon back. And
Okay,
it gives you
infinite ammo on it.
yeah, it gives you ammo. All you have to do is down and down again. So something like
Interesting.
you
Interesting.
go, and this still works with self-med. So if you have you need an RK5 with dead wire or something, and you need to have the OP weapon in your Mule slot, and you just keep downing with self-med and pick yourself back up, and you get infinite ammo.
Wow.
They fixed it with aftertaste, so that one's not so much a worry, but self-med is still monitored on that one. Not many people do it, though, for some reason.
What do you prefer for when going to hit categories on certain things, like no gum, classic gum, or
Mega?
obviously mega?
I usually just do mega for speedruns. I don't like to do high rounds or many things like that. It's just something to pass the time with. Classics and no gum are a lot of where the serious is, I guess, because it's a lot more skill based.
It's a lot more based of how it used to be back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Who do you consider the best solo player and right now, and the best first room player of all time?
The best solo player and first room player. Do just those two categories? Do you want me to do more?
You can do more if you want.
Is this for everybody or just him?
I'm just right. I'm just interviewing Jeff right
Yeah.
now.
I'm getting interrogated here.
What's the password for some of your records?
It wouldn't even
1 2
work.
3 1 2 3.
It wouldn't even work, to be honest.
You want me to go by like a specific game or just overall?
Overall.
God, that makes it even harder.
Well, okay. World of War.
Goddamn. World at War.
Who's the best player in World of War?
It's gonna be one of those German guys that plays a lot of solo. I think his name is Jim or Instakiller. Those
Are you
guys
ta-
are really good at World at War.
Are you talking about like Jim 1555546?
Yeah, they're both German. I'm pretty sure the two I just said.
Yeah, they're both
Yes.
German.
Yeah, he has the Shino record.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think he has the Notch record too, and the Wrecked one. So, and those are pretty lengthy games. I wish I could say the same about Darius, but no, many people are scared by Darius on World at War. It's a very
think-
buggy game.
I think a 200 is possible in that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just all about
Because there are no reset times. You just need to be determined enough.
yeah, it all just depends if you can avoid a dog getting glitched out and if you can survive that whole time.
Are there any good ways to avoid getting a dog suck?
Just playing one trap, playing slow as hell, pretty much, which is what the record is. Which
Okay.
I won't take it away from that person because he's
It's
like
still very
30
impressive.
Yeah, he's 30 rounds ahead of the second place, so it's
Private Kick-Ass? I think that's his name.
game.
yeah, private. I remember that game. All power to him because he still survived those 30 rounds without any problems, and that is a very challenging thing to do on Darius.
I want to see someone get insta-kill rounds in that map, though.
Yeah, it's definitely true. It's possible. It's just you need someone willing to have the patience for it.
Okay, now Black Ops 1.
The game though, real quick though. Like, that World at War one. Like, I calculated probably around like 56 hours. Like, and I did the math one time, but like, does anybody know like actually
For what?
for?
As far as I'm aware, World War doesn't have a reset time.
Oh, I'm asking how long he played for.
Oh,
Yeah,
how long you played for?
Yeah, it was 51 hours, roughly.
It was pretty slow. He did one trap the whole game, so it cannot be something crazy fast, but definitely.
His 100 time was so slow.
Yeah. But it's what he had to do at the time. Can't take it away from him that he did it.
Okay, so Black Ops 1, best player. I know my answer by a mile.
Did you say Mato?
No, no, by a mile.
Hmm.
No, that's not a player. I'm just saying I know
Yeah,
my
yeah,
best
yeah.
player by.
I got it.
Sorry, Scottish accent. It
yeah.
sucks.
I'm stuck between two people on this one. It's gonna be either
Oxygen.
yeah, Oxygen or Phoenix.
What about Waiku?
He's pretty good. I don't.
He was a Darius and Moon world record currently.
Yeah, he has a pretty good Darius game, and he probably could do more on other maps if he just cared to. I know with Phoenix and Oxygen, they at least like try pretty much everything, especially Phoenix. On Bo1, he's done pretty much everything, not trucked, all the maps on it, and he has good rounds on some of them. He has really good on Shang and Moon and
You have to give
Kino.
What's his face? Fuck. Oh, Nuker credit. He broke that Ascension world record after being held for so many years.
Yeah, that's true. He's definitely. I mean, he's only got that one game, but it's not to say that he's a pretty good universal player. Because I know he's well known for other things.
And no one cares about your adopted at this point.
Well, he was good back in his day, I would say.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good back in his day.
A little bit arrogant, I would say.
Hmm?
I would say he was a little bit arrogant as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. Because I was in the shadows for most of that time, and I remember that.
This was in Nixaru's world record history. Didn't he get challenged by another player to beat his world record on Shangri-La? And literally 2 weeks later, he did it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was, I forget who it was, but I remember that happening.
Their beef went on for quite a while.
Yeah, Shang was a big juggle for some people, and then Phoenix comes in with a really crazy round.
Definitely. Okay, I think I know who you're going to say anyway, but Black Ops 2, best player.
I have to say Fixu for half of it.
I thought so.
Yeah, I can't pick anybody for the other maps pretty much. Die Rise, it just all depends on who can survive the longest, and nobody's really proven that.
But
even though Scotty has the record right now.
Even then, I think Fixu has broke every record on the solos at one point or another.
Yeah, he's been involved with most of the solo records on that game.
Apart from Buried.
Apart from Buried and it's just the thing with those maps. It's all just different groups of people. They're all unique in their own way. So.
But Fixu is definitely like.
Yeah, nothing as crazy as those survival rounds. Almost 100 on Town, 97 or 95 on Nuketown.
Not to mention, he's probably one of the oldest zombie high-round players.
Yeah, I've known him, or at least seen him around forever.
He's been here since World of War, definitely.
Yeah, he has been.
And he's been doing world records ever since.
Yep, he has. I've seen him around a long time. I remember seeing him and all those crazy people back in the day.
Do you consider with all these maps, do you consider King Jack Osweet to be one of the best players of all time?
Probably so, because he created a lot of newer things that, well, not newer things, but he changed a lot in the game. He changed Transit, he changed Ares, he changed I think he changed Kino. I don't remember.
Yeah, his Kino strat. Besides going to the back of the stage and activating the trap, that's the only thing that was added to that strategy.
Yeah. He did a lot for what he did. He's definitely a good player and definitely shouldn't be forgotten, or at least remembered for what he did.
Although he did go to Plants vs Zombies, so I think it's better that we do forget.
His Plants vs Zombies game, don't get me started on that. He's a great player at that game too.
No, he has world records on that, but nobody cares about them.
I know. I played that game a little while too, and it's crazy what he can do, but it's honestly not surprising either. Those players on that game is pretty bad. They're all 10-year-olds pretty much.
Okay, it's finally. I'm not going to go into IW or anything, so Black Ops 3. Oh, okay. What are you going to say? You're the best IW player?
No, not for IW.
Well,
I'd say I'm one of the best for AW, but.
Well, who's best for IW?
I don't think there's anybody for IW. It's all just all over the place.
Well, what about AW then? You?
I'm definitely gonna say I'm one of them, and I'm gonna say my co-op partner, Twitcha, is another really good one. I can't be specific on the solo because it's just those records are kind of all over the place, but it's mostly Frenchies that have those, and they're definitely beatable to this day, but nobody does them.
Okay, finally, Black Ops 3.
That it's probably going to be Gamer's End right now since he has 3 or 4 255s.
Definitely, I would agree
But-
with this.
There's a lot of people that definitely made strategies that help him get to that point. Not to say that he definitely did get those rounds.
I'm overcharged, killed it in that game. 255, no jug.
Yeah. It's just there's still so much more he can do, and I hope he continues doing it because 255 is still possible on at least half of the maps. I just hope he can do it at some point. It's just all about if he can do it. Either way, he's probably going to be the best right now because he still has 255 on a map that nobody thought 255 was possible on 3 years ago or 2 years ago. And yeah,
Okay, I'm done with questions. Thank you for answering them.
out of questions. Rip.
So does anyone have any more topics they want to bring up, or are we coming to a close?
I think this is a pretty good closer for it.
Okay, Skittles, since you're recording this, you can outro it.
Thank you all for coming out and staying tuned with the podcast. Thank you, Plasma Jeff, for coming out and hanging out with us for the podcast.
Yeah,
Smells.
it's been fun.
It's been fun.
All right, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Adios.
Adios.